The last time I saw this Stanley Cup champion was a summer before he became a Stanley Cup champion, and I asked him about crossing the line as it relates to flirting with a teammate's mom. Mild indignation was his reaction. Of course he wouldn't flirt with a teammate's mom. He'd leave that assignment for me. The last time I met my other guest, I believe we were at a pool party in Toronto. We met briefly and I didn't have time to make things awkward. He's climbing his way into elite status in the NHL, topping the 30-goal plateau for the third time in his young career. Sean Monahan of the Calgary Flames and Stanley Cup champion Tom Wilson of the Washington Capitals. Welcome to the Cabbie Presents podcast, sirs.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, one thing for the audience. We are recording in a hockey rink, so the audio is going to sound a little bit different than in the studio because this is where we are. Okay, I'm going to start with the hard questions first. If your summer is like anywhere between 80 and 90 days, give or take, how many of those days are spent with tarps off? No shirts.
Probably 40.
Okay, yeah. How about you, Tom?
Yeah.
I think I saw
more
something
weekends. The more weekends, I'd say Monday to Friday, the shirt would be on, and then weekends you can, wherever you are at a pool party or at the pool, it's time to take it off.
I think I saw. It was probably on your Instagram. You and a few buddies were probably at a cottage or something, and it was just tarps off.
Greece, yeah.
Oh, it was Greece.
Yeah. So that's,
how many? Yeah, well,
if you're in Greece,
well, we're different because I don't think I would ever take my shirt off in public. Although I did recently, and I regret it. It was not a bold. It was a bold move, and I shouldn't have made that move. Sean, do you spend most of your summers here in the city, or are you on that cottage life tip as well?
No, I'm just outside of the city in Oakville, but yeah, I spend majority of my time there and get up to cottages as much as I can.
Is it your family's cottages, or like friends or relatives?
Yeah, mine's.
Or do you rent a cottage?
Mine's family cottage, and then I also go up to friends' cottages quite a bit.
Yeah,
Tom,
same with me. Yeah, buddies. A couple of my buddies have cottages in Muskoka, like next door to each other, so pretty fun.
Very nice.
Yeah.
ESPN, the magazine, the body issue, is the last physical issue of ESPN, the magazine. After that, it's shutting its doors. How do you guys get into the body issue? And have you inquired about getting into the body issue?
No, definitely not for me.
I can't see Monty with a rubber ducky and naked. No, that's a little. I'm happy not without doing that, I think.
What if you guys were asked? Would you do it?
I'd probably have to decline.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe Willie could do with his body.
But Sean, why would you decline though?
I don't know. I just it's not me.
Yeah. Once those pictures are taken, it's over.
What do you like? Oh, in what way?
Your teammates have them. They're everywhere.
Yeah. It's just material. It's material to be brought back and
be ridiculed for.
Yeah.
But what if you look dope though? Like there was, I think it was Edmonton. I think it was Surrey.
It doesn't matter. You're gonna get ripped either way.
Yeah, but then
that's a part of being in a locker room.
That's like laced in jealousy, though. Like, yeah, listen, the 8-pack is so refined, or the quads have so much definition that I'm in this match. What was it? 2 years ago was Thornton and Brent Burns.
Yeah,
and I think they're on like a driveway.
Yeah,
those guys can pull it off.
Yeah, those guys are veterans.
Yeah.
But you being a young buck, you couldn't pull it off. Like, how old was Seguin when he was in it? I think he was.
Oh, I'm sure he caught a lot of heat for that.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I probably gave him some flack for it.
You did? Random story about Instagram. I was in Calgary, and one of my dudes we were just catching up, and I don't know if this has happened to you because it hasn't happened to me, but I felt so uncomfortable. Him and his wife both unfollowed the same couple on Instagram, and then the next time he saw the dude, he's like, "Hey, you and wifey unfollowed me and my lady. Why did you guys do that? Have you guys ever had that happen to you before?"
No, I haven't. I don't even use social media, to be honest. So it's.
Sean, what do you mean?
I just don't use it.
Wait, you must have a burner account just at least to see what's going on.
There's a couple accounts boring Sean Monahan on about him.
Yeah, I just don't use it. I have an account for my dog, and I follow a couple of my buddies on that. But other than that, I don't.
He's all grown up now.
I don't.
Man,
like
are you even 25? How old are you? 22?
24.
You're 24 and you're not even on the gram?
No.
Wow. And wait, your dog's account is on Instagram?
Yeah, it is. It's private, and I just follow my buddies and teammates and whatnot.
Okay, so that's the burner account.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
guess so,
the
yeah.
dog's
Goldie,
name.
the golden retriever or whatever.
Yeah.
What kind of dog do you have?
Golden Doodle.
Okay, I was close.
Yeah, close.
What's
yeah.
the dog's name?
Winston.
That's a great name. Okay, how about you, Tom? Has it happened to you where someone has said asked you why you unfollowed them?
Maybe like back in like high school back in the day, but I think that's a little awkward nowadays. And
Could you imagine if someone like did that?
I don't know how, like, sometimes it's hard to even know. Like, some people are better at it than others to know exactly when someone unfollowed.
I think there are
don't follow
apps
it.
that tell you.
Yeah, I don't follow it that closely, so I wouldn't really know if someone unfollowed me. I probably wouldn't confront them about it.
How do you react when people ask you to follow them?
Oh,
Like when they
yeah,
send you
that- yeah.
DMs or they'll comment on your
Yeah.
a post and they'll ask you to follow them.
Yeah, they'll be, hey, bring out your phone, give me a follow type thing. Yeah, and I usually just do it, and then a couple weeks later, I get the axe.
Do you remember? Because I mean, it probably happens. I mean, you, Sean, you're like, okay, no, I'm not even on it. So that's your built-in excuse.
Yeah, for sure.
But for you, do you remember like, Rager 49, or will you remember those accounts?
Yeah, a lot of the time they're people you meet at an event or something, and they do
Right.
it, and then in 2 weeks you haven't talked to them, you don't really even know who they are, and you can cut ties.
It happens to me every once in a while too, and it's more uncomfortable when it's a dude.
Yeah.
When a dude will either in like face to
For me, it's
face.
more uncomfortable when it's a girl, because then there's an explanation needed after that.
Because there may be a monitoring of your activity.
Yeah.
It's that one tab. It's like you, and you see who comments on your post. I mean, Sean, sorry, this is like we're a little inside baseball. Well, you know how it works.
No,
You
I know
just-
how it is. But
And then it's like the other one's like when you're following and like, to see, so and so like that picture. I'm like, let me go see those pictures or whatever. And then it's
Yeah.
like Tom Wilson is.
Oh yeah, everything's out there nowadays.
I was trying to think of that one model. Who's the model in the Blurred Lines video again?
I don't know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, I think.
What's her name? Blurred Lines. Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah. I never saw the video. What are you talking about?
Yo, I think I downloaded it on my computer a few years ago. Okay, so Sean, you're from Brampton, yes?
Yeah.
For some reason, Brampton has this explosion of talent. Not just in sports. I mean, basketball is like Tristan Thompson, Tyler Ennis. Hockey, I think Sagan's from Brampton and Rick Nash also from Brampton.
Yeah.
And then in like music, there's Nav, and then there's Tory Lanez and Roy Woods and Alessia Cara. Like this,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Brampton. Do you have any explanation why this city has produced so much talent?
it's a good spot. No, I don't know. I don't know what
Shout
it
out
is.
to the Bradley
there's,
City Center.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on in Brampton, and I mean, there's a lot of talent coming out of there. So I mean, I hope that continues.
You know how like in New Jersey has a bit of a New York complex because they're across the river.
Yeah.
And there's like, the Bridge and Tunnel crowd. They come in on Fridays and Saturdays to party, and everybody in New York's like, we hate the Bridge and Tunnel. Do you think there was a little bit of that with Brampton and Toronto where you're like going into the city to find more activity because it's the biggest city in our country?
Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah, I mean, if you're from Brampton, you're going to Toronto quite a bit and getting in the mix there and stuff like that. But I think. I mean, you see all the talent coming out of Brampton, especially singers and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty cool.
And which part of the city did you grow up in, Tom?
Like Young and Egg.
Oh, you're right in
downtown-ish.
Midtown.
Yeah.
Did you go to
Yeah.
Northern?
No. Well, I left to go play junior in Michigan actually in grade 10. But
Oh, wow.
I was in the hood until grade 9 or 10. To me, it was never downtown, but
Right.
Like,
Shout out
me,
to Leaside.
downtown is downtown is downtown where the ACC was and stuff as a kid. I never really got down there that much, but it was good. You're close enough, but you're out of the mix a little bit.
Speaking of, did you do your 3 years in Michigan before you went to the NHL?
Yeah, played 3 years in Plymouth, Michigan, and then went to DC from there.
Speaking of the Air Canada Center, which outcome was more unpredictable? The St. Louis Blues winning the Stanley Cup or the Toronto Raptors winning an NBA championship? What do you think was more unpredictable?
Probably St. Louis. I think. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
St. Louis, good team. They pulled it off, and credit to them. But I thought the Raptors were going to win right when they got Kawhi from the start of the season.
No, you didn't. Nobody
There was
ever.
a lot of
Nobody
believers
thought.
calling
it.
Come
for
on,
sure.
Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no. Did you put money on it?
No.
Your actions speak louder than words, my friend. You would have made some serious bank.
There was a lot of people that are like, all right, we got Kawhi, we're gonna do it. At least win the East.
I think coming out of the East, but then Golden State had won back-to-back championships. They had an unbeatable lineup when healthy. I mean, we saw how
that's half the battle is healthy, right?
Yeah, I mean, and certainly for you guys, because your bodies are punished, and you got to play 82 games, and then another with 16 more wins, essentially. I mean, you guys, you experienced that a few years ago. Who was the kid? Speaking of bodies being punished, the kid that challenged Ovi in round one.
God.
The Russian kid.
Svechnikov.
So I think it was
no comment.
What do you mean? Yo, game 3. So you see. How did you? Okay, you as an observer, a fan, you're watching the highlights either on your phone or TV, and you see, and what obviously you've played against Ovi, so you know how much of a beast he is. But then like a young buck just challenging one of the gods. How did you experience his ultimate demise?
Yeah, I mean, good for him. He's trying to set a tone and make a difference, and I mean, unfortunately, Ovi got the best of him.
Did you say to yourself, "Holy that's crazy"? Like, why the would you do that?
No, I mean,
we'll bleep that stuff.
It's part of the game. I mean, Willie's in the mix like that all the time, and I mean, you got to do things for your team sometimes that are uncomfortable.
But nobody's testing Tom Wilson. Like
they were battling for a while before that. No one really realized into the regular season. They
really?
Were kind of going at it, and it was kind of just the peak of the confrontation, I think. And Ovi's a lefty. Like he'll tell anyone like that wasn't even like that's not even his dominant hand.
Oh wow.
And like,
but he was throwing straight rights though.
Yeah, he does. He's just like a extremely like powerful. He's a huge like anyone that's seen him off the ice. He's just a unit, and he chugs around out there. So,
were you on the ice when it happened? Or were you?
At first I'm like, oh god, like, don't get hurt, Ovi. At first thought I'm like, Ovi, why is Ovi fighting? And then I was like, oh no, and then, I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, after the game was, the tone was very somber, and like everybody's like, well, not everybody, but Ovi's like, I hope I didn't hurt him, that kind of thing. Yeah. But in the moment,
Ovi caught a lot of heat for it, a little
think?
bit, yeah.
But he got tested, like
and it was an ongoing thing. Like he finally was like, okay, like But
has anybody tried to test you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
And then what happens? Oh, I remember I was messaging you. Oh, you almost broke didn't you? Oh my gosh, someone got hurt really.
Yeah, there's been a few.
No, but this season there was. Didn't you break someone's orbital bone?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Ian Cole. I think. Yeah. But I mean that happens. It's when there's a fight. I mean, when you drop the gloves, you know that either guy could potentially get hurt.
Yeah, that dude. Like the movie X-Men, like Cyclops. He's got those now. That's what he wears. Sean, you were nominated for a Lady Byng Trophy Award this year. Do people try to test you?
He used to throw him in junior.
Did you?
I fought a guy on his team once, yeah.
And how did it work out for you?
It was not bad.
Yeah. So you caught a dub. You won.
Yeah, and then one time actually I got a big suspension against his team in junior, and after I hit the guy, I got up, and it was Willie standing there, and I'm like, please don't come after me.
He had that reputation in junior?
Well, he was just a big boy, and I was like, I hope this guy doesn't come at me here. I fought against this team the game before that we played them, and I'm like, I'm not a fighter. Don't come near me.
We were buddies for long enough where he got the free pass.
Yeah.
Would you give someone a free pass in the NHL now?
I mean, it depends. There's definitely guys that you're pretty close with that you don't look to, but I mean, it happens. Like Justin Williams, I played with for 3 years, one of my best buddies, and he goes crashing into the boards with Niskin, and you're like, you're kind of like, oh god, like you don't want to do it, but it's part of the game. And
so, did you rough him up, or did you throw some hands? I don't remember that play.
No, it wasn't like nothing really came of it, but it was kind of at the time. I'm like, oh boy, was that Willie? Like, and then it's kind of you got to decide. But
how quickly do you have to decide?
It depends. You got to have a feel for the game. You know who you're playing. You know who you're on the ice with. All that. I mean, that's part of when we came in. There was a lot tougher than me that I didn't want to go anywhere near.
Like, did you come in when Rafi Torres was still in the game?
Oh yeah, like Colton. Like I still remember.
Yeah, my team was pretty big too. Like
yeah,
McGrath. Yeah. Kevin Westgarth. Also, we have Tim Jackman.
I'm taking a long way to the bench when those guys are on the ice. But now all the young guys stretch at the red line and stuff, and Chad, and I didn't want to be anywhere near the red line in warm-ups when I came in because there was you know, Colton Orr and Rosehill and McGrath, and then they're all standing there like, if you come to the red line, you're chatting about something that's going to go down. You know?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'd be over by the goalie.
John Scott, the Tower of John
right.
Scott.
He was like 6'8" or something, right?
Yeah.
If hockey culture was interested in engaging in the pettiness that we see in the NBA to build the soap opera, the male soap opera, which is sports, how do you think that would happen? And do you guys have any interest in dancing in the pettiness of sports and other alphas?
I think some guys probably push the envelope are starting to in hockey, but there's just the culture that kind of keeps it on the wraps a little bit. But I could see it in a couple years continuing to get further and further, you know, stretched. But
who are the couple of guys you mentioned?
Well, like there's guys like a guy on our team like Kuzi, like if there's a dress code or whatever, you're supposed to wear a suit. He's always trying to push it to like where you're like, come on, you can't wear that. And every team has a couple guys like that, I'm sure, that are a little, you know. Anybody like that on your team, Sean?
Not really. No, it's. I mean, here and there. I mean, guys want to dress nice and look good. So I mean, trying to stay within the dress code, but I mean, it's kind of it's getting looser and looser every year since I've been in the league.
Your flow is exceptional, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Are you going to keep growing it?
No, I'm actually going to cut it here probably in the next week or so.
Are you? Why?
It's just too long. It's too hot out. And,
man,
he used to have it short back in the
before you're all
days.
now you're all like summertime. I'm gonna let this. You gotta like flutter it out a little bit, fluff it out. Yeah. You know, in like the pettiness that we love as fans in NBA, and we don't really see this as much in hockey, but like it's, you know, it's commenting on opponents' posts, or if like someone's a free agent, it's like so-and-so is now following this person. Or we see it in the NFL a little bit too, like Antonio Brown's pretty good with that. And NBA, obviously, Kevin Durant takes most of the heat because he had a burner account. He's responding to fans using his burner account and stuff like that.
I think guys in hockey generally stay between the lines, stay in their own room. Like, I mean, after the Ovi we just talked about, I think it was Svechnikov's brother tweeted at Ovi right after, and like it's not good. The guy, you get kind of a bad rap for that, and I think hockey's more, the culture of it's just a little bit different, you know. In basketball, after the Raps win, they go right to the opponent and like, you know, say congrats or whatever. And hockey, celebrate with your own team for. It's just a different culture.
Even in the regular season,
like,
there are adapts. You're right.
Yeah, so it's just different. Like it's less. You have less. You know, communicate. Once the puck drops, you're like, you know, we're buddies. But once the game's on, there's no, like you're trying to help your team win, right? Whereas I think in basketball, there's a little bit more of you know, inclusiveness between teams. Like guys know each other, and it's more public. It's more vocal. They're more vocal about it. So. But, I mean, you never know. Hockey could get there down the road. But for now, there's kind of a hockey culture that keeps it pretty tight-knit, I think.
In my era, because I'm a lot older than you guys, when dudes were, like, hardcore gamers, you knew they were hardcore gamers because they would play on, like, their computers, like like the desktop, not just on their phones or whatever. And you guys have grown up in an age where like it's cool to be a gamer. When I grew up, it wasn't cool to be. You might play Madden or NCAA football or NHL something, but like World of Warcraft and like that sort of thing. That was like, or like Call of Duty or like those first-person shooters. Like that was, you know.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? Two-part question. Your first email addresses and then your first gamer tags where you created a profile and then it was like your name. Sean, what's your first email address?
My first email address was forsberg21@hotmail.com.
You still use that, don't you?
Yeah, that's my MSN account.
Oh yeah, shout out to MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Oh, those are the days.
And then your first gamer. Do you remember what you used? Like you used when you played video games?
Like my gamer tag, or it was. Actually, I don't remember. It was something pretty outrageous though. When I was in junior, me and my roommate, we had it. Honestly, I don't remember.
What were you guys playing?
We'd always play Call of Duty.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, like headsets or just?
No, headsets.
Yeah. Headsets. Where the language was like, imagine like those in the future, like there was a leak and, you know, famous people like you guys, like your audio was released and the world would just hear the most vile shit ever.
Yeah,
it's like, what?
Yeah.
Tom, your first email address and then your first gamer tag.
I think my first email address was like Tommy_92 A or something like random. Whatever I could
Hotmail?
get. I got a pretty
Or
common
AOL?
name, so whatever I could get to work. At Hotmail.
At Hotmail.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys still use Hotmail?
Yeah, my email's still Hotmail right
Come
now.
on. God, get a Gmail account.
Yeah, I switched over. At I think at 17, I switched when I went to the OHL. I switched over the Gmail.
I had to get one when I went to the NHL, or else I was gonna get chirped. But
Yeah.
You should
There's still
get your
guys that have funny ones on the chain emails and
yeah.
the team emails. There's still some hilarious
great
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
And then your first gamer tag, Tom.
Oh, I never was a big online gamer. I did like with my brothers, we'd play NHL and stuff, but I wasn't a big online guy.
Got you. Okay, last question to get you guys out of here. Because we're of a certain age and we love to have a good time and we love music and that sort of thing. When a particular song comes on, you say to someone, "Hold my drink," because you need to either go sing all of the lyrics or be in the mix on some makeshift dance floor. What is your "Hold my drink" song?
Usually you just dance with the drink, no?
Yeah, but sometimes you're like even more enthused. If it's a banger,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't
have enough dance moves where I need to put the drink down.
God, you didn't hear anything. You probably heard a couple in Greece, no?
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, they know how to party there. The music and the vibes and stuff. It was next level. It was good.
And you didn't put your drink down?
wasn't drinking.
Maybe some. Yeah, I wasn't drinking. My water.
Well, there has to be. Okay, Sean, do you know? You think of the top of your head?
Honestly, I can't get one on the top of my head, but I don't know. But
What was the song? Tiny Trumpsta.
oh yeah, whatever that one was.
It was
I don't
like
even know
5 summers ago.
Yeah,
Tiny Trumpa or something. I forget what it's called.
I don't know
It was
that
a
one.
that was our
banger.
go-to
Was-
song.
Yeah.
And you guys are both dance to this particular one.
Oh, you try to.
Try it.
How's your two-step?
Not too good.
You got 2 left feet, and it just goes in one
Monty
direction.
stays in his office. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Shout out
just
to
stay-
Kevin
yeah.
James in
Hitch,
Hitch.
exactly. Yeah, that's us.
Just
yeah.
stay right in there, right in the pocket. Yeah, that's my move too. Right when I hear God's playing, like that whirling, the first few beats, I'm like, I'm about to go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm a big chubby dude. I'm a rhinoceros, so it's not pretty.
Clear the dance
sweating.
floor. Yeah.
But yeah, clear it because I'm about to break. Well, fellas, thank you. I wish we had more time, but it was awesome speaking with you. Good luck with the training.
Yeah.
Hopefully the invitation to the ESPN, the body issue,
Yeah.
comes for both of you guys and accept it. Because listen, if you get chirped, you know it's a sign of love because insults are the intimacy between men. So where can people find you on Instagram, Tom?
Tom_Wilso.
Wilson. Oh, yeah, right.
Without the end. My name's too common. We're working on getting the actual handle.
Like, would it be Tom Wilson 43 or just Tom Wilson?
Honestly, like Tom Wilson, you'd have to go like 4, 9, 8, 6. Like there's so many Tom Wilsons.
And then, Sean, when will you embrace Instagram? Sean Monahan, boom.
I don't know.
Make it this season.
I'm not out there, yeah, but maybe I will be.
At Winston.
Yes,
Yeah,
at
at
Winston.
Winston.
Thank you very much,
If
folks,
he
for being on the
accepts you.
podcast.